forgive me, this is the first lesson in recycling content. We have a YouTube channel, and I never get around to doing videos for it because I've been traveling so much. So I try to tape my presentations so that I can cut them up and put them up on the YouTube channel, which, by the way, the YouTube channel is something we're going to talk about today because it is a phenomenal search engine. Anyway, welcome back to part 2 of your afternoon digging into all things internet and talking about websites, which Jennifer did such an extraordinary job of. I want to start this session off because, of course, Jennifer's just too polite to say this, but don't get a free website. Really, ever? I mean, I just think that, I've seen too many horror stories on Weebly sites and all this stuff. I've seen too many horror stories from authors who get free sites. We had a guy who came to us for internet marketing, and he had gotten a site actually half designed, and then he finished it. I guess it was a template that somebody converted. Anyway, it was a science project. And he bought this service, which was really inexpensive internet marketing, and drove something like 8,000 people to his site in a month, which that's a pretty significant number. The site was such a disaster that not only did he not sell a single book, but he didn't get a single sign up on his homepage because nobody told him he should have a sign up on his homepage. So basically, he should have just taken that money and thrown it over the fence so the neighbor could spend it on his kid's new bicycle or something, right? Because there's no value in what he did. So I highly encourage you, if you're going to go through all the effort of marketing yourself online, it's kind of like, somebody said to me in a radio interview about a month ago, does every author need to have a website? Well, does every book need to have a book cover? So I highly encourage you to, if you're going to spend a year, 10 years, however long you're going to spend writing the book, don't do the book a disservice by burying it in a site that nobody's going to see or want to buy from or whatever. You really want to give it a chance. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend, your savings on a website at all. Get something that's done very, very professionally. When I first had my website, Jennifer knows because we've known each other that long, it was not good. I mean, that's actually being kind. It was kind of a science, right? It was kind of a science project. I was new in business. This is 11 years ago. I designed it in Front Page, right? Front Page. What was Bill Gates thinking with Front Page? And it was horrible, but now we have a website that is just, it's powered and it's doing its thing. But the website's also been online for a long time. To the gentleman's question in the back, I don't have a book yet, what should I do? What you should do is you should start building your platform, which is what we're going to talk about. A couple of things I want to mention. We have handouts, which if you didn't get them, I'm going to divide these two because there's two sides to this handout. One talks about goals and the other one talks about platform, both of which we're going to cover in the session today. Could you just take one and pass it back if you don't have it? The other thing that I want you to know is if you signed up for our newsletter, great. We put it out every 2 weeks. We don't use your email address for anything other than just a newsletter. It's got a ton of information, but also I'm giving away a free Twitter ebook. Now, if you have Red Hot Internet Publicity, there's a Twitter chapter in there, and this is sort of an expanded with a bunch of how-tos and tips and websites and things like that. So be sure to sign up for that. I'll pass this around as well. One on each side. There you go. Thank you. All right. Email address and name.
Oh, and we're getting the direction.
Unless you want the Twitter ebook. Okay. All right, so first off, many of us hop on, right? We get a website, great, we've arrived. Maybe we have a book, maybe we don't, maybe we're just building a platform, whatever we're doing. And we sort of land online without any real focus or goal. It's kind of like, the internet is sort of one big networking party, okay? So you show up at this massive networking party, there's 100,000 or 1 million people, whatever, right? And what do? Well, the first thing you do is you figure out why you're there. Did you show up because of the food? It's a networking party, so probably not. Did you show up because you wanted to see the speaker? Possibly, but you probably showed up because you really want to network with people who can help you further your objectives in your career. But what are those objectives, right? You probably, if you have written a book on yoga, you're probably not going to show up at a networking party for carpenters. Right? So when folks go online, a lot of times, and there's a lot of information out there, right? I mean, you know, one time it was MySpace, and you know, now do we do LinkedIn, and do we do Facebook? And I'm going to talk to you about the real differences between LinkedIn and Facebook, and what you actually should have, and how to sort of pare this down into just a few minutes a day that you can, you know, build your platform. But the first thing you have to determine is, what is your goal? Right? What's your goal for going online? Don't go online unless you really know what your objectives are. Because if you don't, what you'll end up doing is you'll waste a lot of time participating in a lot of things that aren't really going to matter, and you're going to take away time from other things that could build your career, like maybe actually going to a real networking party or a writer's conference or finishing your book or something like that. So the first piece of this is, what are you looking to do? Are you looking to grow yourself as an author, whether you've written fiction or nonfiction? And by the way, I know that a lot of times it feels like these sessions are skewed heavily to nonfiction, but I also write fiction, not a lot of it anymore because I don't have a lot of time, generally between the hours of midnight and 3 a.m. but these tools, and I will try and sort of, but how many, by show of hands, how many fiction authors do we have in the room? Okay, so a significant number. So I will try and give you examples for both so that you know how to adapt this for yourself. You know, you want to start to build an audience, and an audience takes time. You want to introduce your work to people, right? Or maybe you want to build your newsletter list. Maybe the book is your business card, right? This book is my business card. This is where people get to know me and they learn about, you know, internet marketing. Oh, this Penny person, maybe I should contact her. Maybe the same thing is true for you. First off, determine your goals. Determine what you want, and then figure out what's your platform. What platform do you have existing, and what else do you need to grow it further? On the second page of on the sheet that I gave you, there's a platform worksheet. Because people always say, well, I hear platform. I mean, how many of you have been to writers' conferences and you've heard the term platform and you sort of go, huh, what's a platform? I'm going to explain what a platform is. A platform is not who you know, it's who knows you. Okay? These are the people that have heard about you through something. So maybe they have heard about you through associations, maybe they were given your book by a friend, right? And the way to grow your platform is to first off figure out what tools will help to build it, okay? Maybe that's having a blog. Very likely in almost every case it probably is. Maybe that's having a Twitter account. Maybe that's having a Facebook account. What this sheet does that I gave you is it breaks down each of the pieces of your platform so that you can address them, focus on them, and assign you know, work to them.